the Wendy's bathroom where Covington police say a teenager fired a gun left there by the Grayson County, Texas sheriff. Heather was inside with her children.
I put my drinks down on the table and all of a sudden there's a loud bang. You're going to sit in stunned silence for a second, but my initial reaction was, oh my God.
She ran out to call 911. She says Sheriff Tony Benny followed her. He told her it was his gun and then spoke to 911 from her phone. Authorities say the sheriff was in the bathroom with his 5-year-old grandson who was being unruly, was distracted, and left the gun there. Benny is seen in this body cam video telling officers he left his gun in the bathroom.
He's fine, but I'm with Grayson County Sheriff. I'm the sheriff of Grayson County.
No charges were filed. We asked the Alcovey Judicial Circuit District Attorney Randy McGinley why.
Looking at the law in Georgia, there's just not an offense that fits that scenario.
Why did you decide it's not reckless conduct?
You know, recklessness, it means more than just being reckless. I don't want to say it means more, but there has to be, you have to meet the legal definition, which again is a conscious disregard, that somebody has to knowingly disregard a risk.
Saying since the gun was not left in the bathroom on purpose, it's not conscious disregard. We asked the Grayson County Sheriff's Office for an interview with Sheriff Benny. It referred us back to this statement. In part, the sheriff says, "I made a mistake. It was unintentional, but it was still a mistake and one I own fully."
I thank God that nothing else happened.
I apologize. Jeez, I'm sorry.
I think that man should lose his badge. That 15-year-old, thank goodness, he made it out of that bathroom with his life.
A former Lee County deputy turned jail escapee, a man who once swore to uphold the law, now at the center of a security breach. Good evening, I'm Kelly Burns. Authorities say that Matthew Corbello, a former Lee County Sheriff's deputy, used insider knowledge to walk out of the Lee County jail after his arrest on DUI charges. Investigator Dave Elias is outside the Justice Center in downtown Fort Myers to explain how the escape happened.
Well, Matthew Corbello, once part of the Corrections Division, I'm told, pressed a few buttons on these doors and then passed right through the security doors and escaped from one of the most monitored buildings in Southwest Florida. It is an escape that's stunning even the most seasoned law enforcement veterans. This is the facility where Matthew Corbello, a man who used to work inside the walls, used that same experience to walk right out. Authorities say that Corbello, who resigned just months ago in April, was booked here for a misdemeanor DUI, labeled a disorderly inmate. But it's what he did next that's causing outrage and even embarrassment. According to the booking report, he approached an interior door. He pressed the release button, then moved through a second door, and then, in a moment of timing, walked out through a third door that an unsuspecting employee opened from the outside. He didn't have his wristband. He didn't need any help. He just walked away and was caught hours later. Corbello, seen here, was under investigation for allegedly abusing his children. A neighbor told Gulf Coast News she saw him dragging her by the hair.
He dragging his daughter, pulling her by her hair, pulling her by her arm, like try to cover her mouth to not talk.
Now, the Lee County Sheriff's Office released a statement calling it a brief flight. But tonight, the big question remains, is who, if anyone, will be held accountable, and how will the jail prevent this from happening again? His estranged wife had this reaction when I contacted her.
That should terrify everybody, that we have a former Lee County Sheriff officer who thinks that he is so far above the law that he can just do what he pleases when he wants to.
Now, I did talk to Matthew Corbello by phone today. He told me that he wanted to make no comment at this time. He does, however, remain free on $30,000 bond. Outside the jail in downtown Fort Myers, Dave Elias, Gulf Coast News.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate it, especially if you've been here for a while. Extra especially if you're here every day. And those of you that are new. See, we have some new subscribers, folks. And I suspect some of them will be watching the Bad Apple Report that came over on the Shorts bus. But hey, we're a big family around here. Everybody, turn to your neighbor and give them a hug. All right? Everybody, meet all my favorite people here in the chat. Okay? They're here every morning, and they're the reason this show exists. I get up, I do this show. Actually, I do it for all you guys, but they know they know they're important. Okay. And they know I ramble on and they're okay with it. See, they're carrying on their little conversation over there. No big deal. We're all friends here. Okay. Everybody introduce yourselves. Here we go. San Jose police officer arrested and held without bail. An officer with the San Jose Police Department was arrested and is being held without bail in the Santa Clara County Jail. His name is Officer Timothy Fay, and he's taken into custody on Wednesday in a case relating to a family violence situation. As we dig deeper, it says, according to the East Bay Times, Fay was arrested in a Morgan Hill home after allegedly drunkenly firing his gun. That's why we tune into the Bad Apple Report, folks. The newspaper also reported that the officer was arrested shortly before in Monterey County on suspicion of willful cruelty to a child. That's what bad apples do. What they're saying, the San Jose Police Department confirmed an officer of theirs was arrested. We take these matters seriously and are fully cooperative. The trust of the community is... Local perspective, Fay was one of the two officers behind the fatal shooting of a man at a San Jose power plant in 2018. A man armed with an axe at a Metcalf Energy Center was gunned down by police. In his possession, the man also had another axe and 6 throwing knives and some pepper spray. Ooh, you do not bring an axe to a gunfight, buddy. Especially with a bunch of loose cannon bad apples. Okay, the man, according to Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office, yelled, "Shoot me and kill me," to the officers and ignored orders to drop his weapon. Okay, what's next? Fay has a court appearance scheduled on Wednesday, and no attorney was listed for him in his court case. Oh, no. Dang, Fay, you better get yourself an attorney, buddy. Perhaps. I'm not giving you legal advice. But thanks for being on the show, and thank you for showing up to watch the show. Moving on.
But I know what Kroger's do. Kroger's is one of the largest conglomerates on this planet. Okay, I'm taking my damn broccoli.
So she said she was the constable or something.
And she was just gonna walk off with the vegetables.
Yeah, and she was walking off.
She was over there telling some lady that nobody can arrest her. She's like a sheriff, and it's something. She was just saying all like I don't know. She come in like upset.
Yeah, I don't know. She had like a weird thing around her neck.
She's the constable of Center Township. She's an elected official.
She had looked right at me and said, "I'm gonna walk out with these."
Because you live in the ghetto. You charge poor people more money for groceries, for meat, for cereal. So you know what I mean?
Well,
that's Kroger's policy.
No,
that's Kroger's
policy. You gotta
policy.
understand, I'm a customer too.
No matter. I'm leaving. Lock me up if you want to.
Center Township Deputy Constable is in jail facing felony charges tonight after being accused of impersonating a public servant.
CBS 4's Jesse Wells explains what led to those criminal charges being filed.
The investigation started when an IMPD officer spotted the suspect working security and traffic enforcement outside a nightclub here along 10th Street. When confronted, that suspect allegedly claimed he got his badge and ID from a disgraced former Center Township constable.
You don't touch me. I'm the constable of Center Township.
Following a series of confrontations with law enforcement recorded both online and on body cameras, Center Township Constable Denise Hatch was charged with multiple felonies, including official misconduct, which culminated with Hatch going to court in late 2024, where she pleaded guilty and gave up her job. 8 months later, one of her former deputies, Logan Harvey, is now also facing felony charges for impersonating a public servant. Police claim this month Harvey was blocking traffic here at 10th and Livingston using a car equipped with law enforcement-style flashing lights. The suspect was allegedly working security for an after-hours nightclub at this building, which has since been ordered to close, and was wearing a police vest with handcuffs, a handgun, and a Center Township badge and ID. Court records claim Harvey told police he worked for Denise Hatch, although he hadn't been paid in months, and didn't know he was supposed to return his badge or ID after she was removed from office.
You have to understand, when somebody impersonates a law enforcement officer, that's a breach of trust.
IMPD insists anyone working as armed security needs to make sure their credentials are up to date and legitimate.
So if there's ever any concern that somebody stopping you, whether it's on the street, whether it's in a vehicle, is not a law enforcement officer, don't hesitate to call 911.
The current Center Township constable told police he requested Hatch's deputies return their badges and IDs when he took office. A check of Indiana Law Enforcement Academy records also shows Harvey is not a certified police officer.
Finally, the suspect was given a $10,000 bond and is due in court for an initial hearing next week. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
The Mesa County deputy who pulled over a college student, then tipped off ICE about her in a group chat, is now on administrative leave. Mesa County says what happened was a violation of state law. The 19-year-old from Utah, Caroline Diaz-Goncalves, was pulled over by a deputy on I-70 near Loma on June 5th. She was then released with just a warning for following a truck too closely. But soon after, Diaz-Goncalves was stopped again, this time by federal agents, who detained her and took her to the ICE facility in Aurora. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office says it was one of their deputies that notified the agents in a group chat that was supposed to be used for drug investigations. Diaz-Goncalves' attorney says she posted bond yesterday, but as of tonight, records show she is still in ICE custody.
We've got a winner. And by winner, you know I mean a total loser. Because you don't make it on the Bad Apple Report unless you're a total loser. Unless, of course, you're the host. Okay, we've got the Carrot Top from Carrollton, police officer, arrested, faces EXUAL assault charge. Look at that look on his face, man. Yeah, you're busted, buddy. What happened here? It's in Irving, Texas. A Carrollton police officer was arrested Friday by Irving police on an EXUAL assault charge. What we know is his name is Officer Wes Melton. Oh, Wes Melton, goofball, and he is age 42. He was off duty at the time of his arrest, according to the statement from the Carrollton Police Department. He was taken into custody around 1 a.m. Friday, and Melton has been with the Carrollton Police Department since January of 2024 and is currently assigned to patrol. He's been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of both the criminal investigation and the internal affairs investigation. It turns out that booking information lists Melton under the name Wes Masters Melton. Ooh, Wesley Masters Melton. Okay. I'm sure you made your parents proud there, Wes. Okay. The booking date was June 21st, 2025 at 2:30 a.m. Charge listed as EXUAL assault, second-degree felony with pending court disposition. Okay. What we don't know, any details about the allegations, none of them been released. Melton is no longer listed on the Irving jail roster, which means he's probably watching himself on the Bad Apple Report this morning. Oh, Wesley Masters Melton. Okay, he's also not listed in the Dallas County Jail roster. Well, he's on the Bad Apple Report. Okay, thanks a lot for being here, folks. Let's move on with the show.
Disturbing allegations this afternoon against a Boca Raton firefighter. Alejandro Caligari is facing child porn charges. The 51-year-old was arrested by deputies with the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. Detectives say Caligari uploaded multiple pornographic videos with victims as young as 3 years old. The city of Boca Raton responding to the arrest, saying, quote, "These serious and disturbing allegations do not reflect the values or standards of conduct we uphold for all city employees." The statement also says Caligari has been placed on administrative leave.
Sometimes I think I take it too far here on the Bad Apple Report when reporting on these terrible cops. Because, you know, I've brought their wives and their kids in on it. But I don't think I've ever brought their moms in on it. And we're not going to start with this guy, though. Even though when I got this photo of him on Facebook, underneath it was a really proud comment from his mom. I assume was his mom. Hopefully she won't leave a comment below if she sees this report about her son, the New Paltz officer who's been indicted for misconduct charges. See, we don't take it too far. A New Paltz police officer is facing charges for allegedly harassing his former girlfriend while in uniform. According to the Ulster County District Attorney's Office, 28-year-old Jerome Milton was arraigned Wednesday on a 5-count indictment. Okay. I better go back and double check and make sure that's not Jerome Minton instead of Jerome Milton. Okay. In which case, Minton's mom. Well, I don't know. I'm going to get confused here. Let's just move on, you guys. See, this is why you tune into the Bad Apple Report. According to the DA's office, an investigation began after the town of New Paltz Police Department received information about the alleged harassment and stalking. Oh, come on, Milton. Jerome. Okay, police said the investigation revealed an unjustified traffic stop. The New Paltz Police Department takes allegations. We're not reading that. Milton is accused of stalking and harassing his former girlfriend, which led to an alleged traffic stop of the victim's partner. Ooh, it's getting dirty. Let's see what happened here. Police said the traffic stop happened while the DA's office was investigating the allegations against Milton. The ticket was then filed with the New Paltz Town Court and entered into the department's motor vehicle records, and the officials said that Milton allegedly engaged in the misconduct while in uniform. Quote, like everyone else, Jerome Milton, it's not above the law, of course, yeah. He's got official misconduct, offering false instrument for filing the first degree, filing a first instrument first degree, harassing in the first degree, stalking in the fourth degree. This is a sad but necessary step in reiterating the reinforcement that public office may not be used to abuse and blah, 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 and that's it. Milton was released on his own recognizance, and that means he's watching the show. Okay, Jerome, just make sure your mom doesn't see this episode of the Bad Apple Report. Okay? Let's move on, folks.
Bill, good morning. The scheme involving cash, NBA tickets, and a country club wedding. According to the Justice Department, USAID official Roderick Watson sold his influence starting back in 2013. Contractors Walter Barnes and Daryl Britt funneled payoffs through subcontractor Paul Young to hide their tracks. It doesn't end there. Barnes' company, working in conjunction with another firm, kept receiving federal funds. $5,000 for human resources consulting late last year. And then later, after suing the government, a contract worth up to $800 million. Matthew R. Galliotti, head of the Justice Department's criminal division, saying, quote, their scheme violated the public trust by corrupting the federal government's procurement process. Anybody who cares about good and effective government should be concerned about the waste, fraud, and abuse in government agencies, including USAID. Cutting waste, fraud, and abuse has been a big focus on Capitol Hill across government, a major priority for House Speaker Mike Johnson. The U.S. Agency for International Development has been a target for those looking to trim government spending, with some suggesting the agency funneled taxpayer dollars into ideological projects.
I mean, USAID blew it. They showed themselves to be completely irresponsible. It needs to be redone, and the funds need to be directed properly.
Back to the scheme, the Justice Department says this kind of fraud erodes public trust. Bill?
Wild story, Mike. $500 million. Remarkable.
Where were you involved in an accident at? No. What? No. That's not the... Where were you involved? You got your vehicle listed as the vehicle involved in an accident. They got video footage and everything, buddy. I'm not here to debate it about it. Okay. You said what?
So which one?
Okay.
TBS.
Okay. So what was your intention? You didn't want to provide any information. You know, it's state law to do that, right?
What did I hit?
What did you hit?
Final update on 96
All right.
Clark.
I'm not going to debate about it with you, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to put you in handcuffs. We're going to put you in the back seat. We're going to move your car over there with the other two cars that are involved in the crash, okay? Hey, whoa, up down! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! 22-21.
Good. There's code. Shots fired.
Hey, roll me HFD. I got a male, not conscious, not breathing, multiple gunshots wound to his abdomen.
Keep going.
And with that, I think we'll call it a show. Thank you so much for being here to watch the Bad Apple Report with me every morning right here at home on the range. You are awesome. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to whip up another batch of bad apples for you. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. bright and early. Take it easy.